Good morning, everybody. My name is Len Thompson, and I'm the Lead Community Manager for the CA Mainframe Security Community. I'd like to welcome you to our first webcast in our No Fail Friday Security Series. During today's session, we will discuss CA's new mainframe security and compliance offering, Data Content Discovery. Jamie Pringle, Principal Support Engineer, will be interviewing Product Owner Marianne Furno on what DCD can do for the mainframe environment and how you can get started with it. If you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask them using the Q&A functionality right in the WebEx window. If you don't see the Q&A box in the lower right of your screen, please click the question mark icon in the upper right and it will open for you. And with that, again, I'd like to welcome you to No Fail Friday. Marianne and Jamie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lynn. Welcome, everyone, and thank you, Marianne, for joining us today. I'd like to begin by asking you to give us a little bit of background on the need for CA data content discovery and what you've been hearing from customers.
Good morning, everyone. With breaches occurring in the news every day, being able to find regulated data in your data stores or ruling out the existence of data is really the first step that you need to take in your environment. This is important not just in the distributed data stores, but on the mainframe as well. Losing control of that regulated or sensitive data can result in a data breach which costs your organization millions of dollars. And unfortunately, with over 70% of mission-critical data residing on the mainframe, it really has been a daunting task to locate all of this regulated and sensitive data. So our customers, in speaking to us, asked us to find a solution to that daunting task to help them find the regulated and sensitive data in their environment, and we did just that. We introduced Data Content Discovery to market in November of 2015, and it's really a first-of-its-kind scanning tool running 100% on the mainframe, which you can see on the slide will help you find data, classify data, and protect your regulated and sensitive data.
It's good to know that it runs 100% on the mainframe, which is the gold standard for security, and it will be for the foreseeable future. Why is there a need to know where the data is when we know it's in mainframe data stores, which again is perceived as an impenetrable fortress?
Good question, Jamie. The mainframe is the most secureable platform, but that being said, there are a number of reasons why the location of sensitive data is important. First, in order to comply with audits, you have to be able to confidently tell your auditors that your regulated data is secure. If organizations don't know the location of the sensitive data, they can't confidently tell their auditors that regulated data is secure. Secondly, in the unfortunate event that a data breach does occur in your mainframe environment, if you do know the location of that data and you've been able to secure that data, it could save your organization millions of dollars in fines and fees associated with breach remediation. According to the Ponemon Institute, your average breach is costing organizations just under $4 million, but of course that's growing each year, and that also varies based on the number of records that are stolen in a breach. As we look into the future and look behind us, really securing by the data perimeter or data set naming conventions really isn't good enough on its own anymore when you consider the following. Different social engineering hacks that hackers are using to get into your environment, such as phishing schemes and so forth, also take into consideration that with TCP/IP connectivity, the mainframe is really just another server on your network. And then, of course, we need to take into consideration that as our expertise retires and we have more and more junior security administrators coming on board, and the distributed security side and the mainframe security side merging underneath security operations, it can all lead to more and more human error in the environment. So all of this together, we can't leave what can be the most secureable platform. We don't want to leave it open to allow anybody to get in and get this mission-critical data.
Okay. You mentioned that organizations don't know the location of their regulated sensitive data. Mm-hmm. You mentioned also that this is a daunting task for organizations to take on.
Yep.
Why is finding regulated sensitive data on the mainframe such a challenge?
Well, the mainframe's been around for over 50 years. We've got many users over the years who some are still working in the mainframe environment, some are long gone, working in other various areas, but that data still exists on the mainframe. And in addition to that, you've got different legacy tools out there running on the mainframe, report writers. We have different output managers. And prior to DCD, there is no other tool that existed that allowed for scanning and classifying data 100% on the mainframe that is zip-enabled. So we think this regulated and sensitive data shouldn't leave the mainframe in order to be classified, because that just exacerbates the problem. And that's been the problem up until the release of CA data content discovery.
I see. That seems like quite a bit for one organization to take on. Where does a user start, Marianne? I mean, where does a user start looking for data with DCD?
So with the magnitude of data that organizations have on the mainframe, what we're recommending is that our customers create a risk profile of their data storage environment. Then using the flexibility, as you can see in DCD here, define the scope of your scan using our scan wizard, kick off a scan, and work through that risk profile in priority order. So for example, if you've got high-level qualifiers that are associated with an application that processes payment cards, scan those first and methodically work through your environment in priority order so that you can take the proper steps to make sure that that data is protected according to regulations.
Wow. That looks great. With this tool, there seems to be a potential to discover a lot of data at once. Can I quickly scan and get some quick indicators as to whether I need to be concerned with a specific file? Can I do a spot check?
Yeah, absolutely. If you take a look at the screen right now, there's a number of options that are available when setting up system controls related to scans. So the first option allows you to limit the number of records per data source that you're going to scan. So basically a quick glimpse into the file to quickly allow you to see if it's got the data you're trying to classify or not. And then the second parameter shown on the screen allows you to specify the number of matches to find before moving on to the next file. And each of these settings allows you to bug out, if you will. So, you know, quickly take a look at the file, learn whether it contains regulated or sensitive data, and then move on to the next file. And of course, these knobs can be tuned according to the requirements of each organization.
Okay, so there are some options to sort of minimize the output and the results so that I'm not overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have data in my environment, let's just say, that isn't necessarily regulated, but it is sensitive and proprietary to my needs. Can I scan for it?
You sure can. So DCD, in addition to out-of-the-box classifiers that we provide, it allows users to specify a pattern for data that may be unique to their environment. And on the screen at this time is the tool within the product where a user can enter in a pattern that would match the data they're looking for. So maybe account numbers in their environment or you know, other data that might be proprietary to them, and then use that pattern in a scan when they're looking for data in their environment.
Okay. So I don't have to go and learn how to write these things. You guys kind of provide a tool for me to build them.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right, so let's say I run a few scans and I've discovered some files and I want to start the next steps, which is remediation.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to exclude data sets that have been scanned and have been remediated?
There is. DCD offers a global exclusion list. So as you said, if you're running a scan and you're looking through the details and there's data sources in there that you don't want run in subsequent scans or don't want scanned in subsequent executions, you can add them to the global exclude list and they will not be scanned and classified again.
Okay. Okay, I've located the data. Can DCD tell me who has access to the data?
It can. DCD works with and is integrated with ACF2, top secret and RACF to show you who has access to the data stores with sensitive information. So we can see in here we've got an example of a particular data source. We can see the IDs and the usernames as well as the access level for each individual who has access to this particular data source.
Excellent. Sounds like DCD provides a great and tremendous value to customers. Not only does it find sensitive and regulated data, but also gives me an idea of who has access to the data, both of which will help maintain and ensure that proper controls are in place to secure the data. I understand that Release 1 supports finding static data with primarily payment card industry data elements. Where's the product headed?
Okay, so let's take a look at our roadmap quickly. Release 1, as we said, was released to market in November of 2015, and we can see on the left-hand side of the screen what items were delivered in Release 1. Going forward with Release 2 and beyond, they will be done as incremental releases. And what this means for our customers is the ability for the product to deliver market features that matter to our customers much faster. And as part of our incremental release program in Release 2, the roadmap contains features and functionalities surrounding expansion of our out-of-the-box classifiers related to personally identifiable information, protected health information. We also plan to expand discovery for additional file types in Release 2. We're looking to do some scanning of data in motion related to FTP and SMTP. We're looking to integrate with our Compliance Event Manager product so that we can do on-access scanning, so when a file is opened for read or update, and that would be policy-based. And then we're also looking to, of course, as with any software product, refactor our code and look to performance improvements as we move further with the product.
Okay. You mentioned earlier on that customers were asking for a solution such as DCD.
They were, yes.
How can an organization provide product suggestions going forward?
Well, CA works under the Agile methodology for software development, and we work with our customers during sprint iterations. We have continuous dialogue. We deliver demos, solicit feedback, have phone calls, ad hoc meetings with them, and that's where they give us input, feedback, and let us know if what we're developing and designing for them is going to work for them in their environment. So if you would like to get involved with a DCD sprint review, please feel free to contact me, and you can be a part of the Agile process with us. And my contact information is on the screen, and we would be happy to meet with you and discuss what needs you have within your organization.
Awesome. Thank you, Marianne, for that explanation and great presentation about DCD. Are there any other questions from anyone else on the call?
We don't have any questions yet. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box in the WebEx, and Marianne and Jamie are here to help answer any questions you have.
Okay, well, I have another.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Perfect.
Marianne, can I schedule scans?
You can schedule scans. So what you would do is you would go into the DCD user interface. It is a modern interface which allows our users who are familiar with the mainframe or don't have as much experience with the mainframe to intuitively go in and set up a scan. And you have the option when you finish setting up a scan to either run the scan immediately or save that scan criteria for later. If you choose to save the scan criteria for later, a scan ID is associated with that criteria. That scan ID can be used as an input parameter within a batch job so that you can schedule the batch job using your scheduling software.
Okay, thank you. I see there's a question. You mentioned a remediation phase after the scan. Can you add some color to that?
Sure. So as part of remediation, the different regulations require data, sensitive data and regulated data to be to adhere to their standards. So data content discovery in release 1 is looking to find static data, and it will report on that data, which allows you to, via the tool, look at the access levels and so forth. With some solution briefs that we've created with our partners, that data in turn can be looked to see, do you need to encrypt it? Do you need to tokenize it? Does the data need to be archived or deleted in your environment? And those are types of questions that are, specific to the regulation that you're adhering to and specific to the rules of your organization.
Okay. I have another question.
Sure.
What file types will DCD discover or is able to discover?
Sure. In Release 1, DCD works with physical sequential, PDS, PDSE, VSAM, and DB2 tables. As part of the roadmap for Release 2, we are looking to implement support for USS files, and in addition to that, working with our customers to set the next priority for additional file types that are needed within their environments.
Okay.
And again, those, since we're doing Release 2 in an incremental fashion, as the team gets done adding support for those, that support will be released via PTFs.
Okay. I have another question if no one else has one.
Sure.
I'm assuming that the scan results are shown in the GUI. Is there a way to, is there an export feature?
There is an export feature. So once you've done your scan and you have your scan results and you drill into that to either look to see the location of where sensitive data was found in that file, you can export that information. You can also export information related to who has access. And then if you go into our reporting feature and you run a report, which would be an aggregate of multiple scans worth of data, you can export that information as well. And the export at this time is into a CSV file.
Okay.
Are there any other questions, anybody? We'll just give everyone a minute or two to type anything they have. Okay, if there aren't any other questions, we can wrap up for today. I'd like to thank Marianne and Jamie for sharing their expertise today, and thanks to all of you for joining us. We will be posting a replay of this session in the CA Mainframe Security community later on today. So if you have any questions that you think of after the fact, please feel free to ask them there in that community thread. Thanks again, and have a great Friday, everybody. Oh, hold on one second. I see a question from Jeff Harrington. Yes, everybody, that's actually a great question. We're going to be having these no-fail Fridays the last Friday of every month for the entire calendar year of 2016. So we hope you'll join us. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll talk to you at the end of February. Have a great day.
That's the day. How long?